Welcome to Session 1 of God's Plan, Chosen for Such a Time as Now. The title of this session is The Unseen God, the Sovereignty and Providence of God, and that's where we actually set the stage. So if you haven't already, I would encourage you to go to the session that is the classroom presentation for the book of Esther and listen to that. It's very important that we understand how God was working in Esther's life and really do a case study on that so we have a better understanding of how God is working in our life. It's called the unseen God because just like during Esther's time, God was not seen. As a matter of fact, in the book of Esther, God isn't even mentioned. But as we read through and as we'll go along, you'll see that God's handprint is all through the book, and we will see that for our life too as we dig in deep. But I want you on page 16 and 17. We're doing the section of the tutorial called God's Plan. And if you'll look at page 16, you'll see a verse that helps set the stage for us. It says, "You can make many plans, but the Lord's purpose will prevail." And that's found in Proverbs. We are just like Esther in that we have many plans for our life, and we sometimes are caught off guard or by surprise that things aren't going the way that we thought they would. We find ourselves in a season of life that just doesn't even seem like it should be part of our life at all. But what we want to understand is that even if we don't understand it, God does, and God's purpose is going to prevail, and God's purpose is good. So we have to understand who God is first, and to put it in the bluntest of terms, God is God, and we are not. See, there is a vast divide between God and us. And as we study the Bible, we understand that. We see that. We see the all-powerful, all-knowing God who can see and do anything. If you, in your lesson, you go to the book of Job, the chapters 38 and 41 that you'll see on page 16, if you'll list those attributes or those things that God can do that you find in those scriptures, you can't help but find yourself amazed or in awe of who God is. And as you see that, then it helps you better understand how far apart God and us are on any level at all. But you know what? If you continue on page 17 and you do the exercise there with the book of Acts and fill that out, what you'll discover is the God who made the heavens and the earth, who created us, knew that there was this vast divide that we could not get across. And so part of his plan was enabling us to be with him. And what a mighty God, what a wonderful, loving God we serve, who is so big and so demanding, but so loving and caring for us that he wants to have a relationship with us. So that's kind of the standpoint where we start. We want to know that God is God and we are not. And if we understand that, then that lays the foundation for us to be able to move forward. And then we'll understand why God's work in our life is so important, because God can do things that we could never dream of doing. So go ahead, listen to the presentation on Esther, do pages 16 and 17, and then join me in the next tutorial for session 1, which is about self-reflection, and that's where we'll start putting some of those life coaching tools to use.